Hi everyone, welcome back again. I started this Easter Bunny painting and this was part one. I got this far in part one. So here in part two we will finish it up. It's probably not going to be quite as involved as I thought I was going to, but we're just going to keep going. So I am using a product called jelly gouache and watercolor, and I use them sometimes mixed together and sometimes just by themselves, or within and also within the same painting. So this is how far I've gotten on this. So what I want to do now is I want to take some green and some sepia, and I want it to come down in here and sort of swish around some more of this, because this grass type stuff that it's supposed to be depicting, and I'm trying to get a bit of a brown here, a brownish color, and I'm not having too much water on my brush, but I am just dancing this brush all over the place to try to just get this depiction of some grass. And I realized that I had the bunny looking like he's sitting on nothing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some nice reddish, pinkish color, some nice bright colors, and I'm actually going to make myself another large flower. I don't want too much water on my brush because I want to define some, I want to get this fairly defined, because I want it to cover some areas here that I'm realizing I needed to do something different that I didn't in the first place. So that's okay, and that will happen a lot when you do painting, when you paint in any medium. So now it's more like there's a flower covering up where, excuse me, where he's sitting. And I'm going to take some sepia and dot the center of this flower, and I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll come back and I will add some more definition of color. In the meantime, all the rest of this is dry. So I want to come over here with that red in my, hopefully without putting my finger into that flower. Whoops, I had a little water drop there. I want too much water on there. I want to, I don't want to have much water because the water will just spread it, but I want to have a defined line, so I'm going to have to take most of that water off. And then I think I will also put a couple of lines down here. And then I think wiping it off a lot, taking some of this paint out, wiping it off, and sort of coming in here to the bottom of this egg and making it, and maybe on the side here, and darkening the sides, the sides area. Just kind of get that worked out in there, because it's sort of sitting down inside the grassiness, so I want it, to have kind of like a shadow there. And then inside those lines, what I want to take, I just watered my paints, so unfortunately they got a little too much water on them. And I want to just, do some lines like this. On the egg. Cute. And then I'm going to go right into some of this pink with this purple on my brush, and I want to dot some dots on the top and the bottom. It's like a cranberry color. You don't have to be super fancy about it. You don't have to stress about it. Just, have fun put some things wherever you want them. It's all about having fun. It's not about being stressed. Add a few things in a few places that have gotten too light. Like I'm going to define the ear here a little more. His ear. And put a little darker right here for that area that's darker. And then I had flicked some darker colors of hair, and I wanted to add a few more, but not very many at all. So that's fine for that. I'm going to wash off my brush. I want to define his little eye here. There we go. And I wanted to make this a little whiter here. I'm actually using the white jelly gouache. I'm just dabbing in some highlighted areas. Doesn't need to be anything specific. And I'm going back into that white as well, with hardly any water on my brush at all. And well, I guess I need more. And I actually wanted to get, but I think I put a bit too much water in there when I was livening these colors up, which can happen. Unfortunately, the gouache paints dry quite quickly. So you have to, the gouaches, you have to work pretty quickly. I'm going to come in here as well and define this white area that was around his eye. It got kind of blended in there. All right, let's see if we can get some white. I wanted to put a few white blobs. That's fine. That'll work. As I said, I don't want these videos to go too long. So I'm going to change my brush here. A little larger one, but not too much more, but it is still a round pointed tip. And I need some more foliage. So what we're going to do, try to make a bit of a brown here. There we go. Well, hopefully I can not have to worry about too much. Actually add a little purple to those. Make your little stems that these that are leaves are going to come off of. And we're going to make some of our foliage again. I want to have a little bit of pink in there. Remember, dance them around a little bit so they're not, just going one way. That's some, nice color at the top there. Whoops, that one went into this one. So let's just come in here and dab it in there with a fairly dry brush and get that out. Although I do want the, well, actually that's good like that. Okay, we'll leave it like that. So I wanted to have a little highlight going on there. So I'm just going to dab like that. I'm trying to look at it through the camera as well to see I'm trying to think of what else we can add to this. And if you see any pencil marks, you just, when you're doing your picture, like I've got a few pencil marks here that I decided to do something else around it. So just go in and wherever you find them, take them out. I'm going to come back here to this little yellow flower here that I started with, little daisy. And I wanted to add some really textured paint on top like this. So that one stood out a little bit more. And then I thought I would get some orange. And I think I will make another one, but I'm not the full one, just like a half. I guess you'd call it like a half of a daisy. And then take some sepia and put it right there. Get a darker color and add some stems here. They gotta, have some stems. All right, and then I think what I'm missing too is some real light foliage. So I'm gonna grab some of this yellow and green, and I'm just gonna find some places that I like the 3D effect when you do 3D over what you've got going on. It's very interesting. Add that there like that, and then put some. It's kind of hard to tell, where they're coming from. They just seem to be there, which is kind of cool looking, if you ask me. All right, and then for a well, let me see. Let's take a good look at this first. See if we need to. I mean, it's all going to be in your own preference, like my own preference, what I want, what I'm doing with it. Some highlights here for this side. Put a little bit of light on this side here for the highlights. And you can add whatever you want to this, but I think it's, oh, wait a minute, I see something that we need to go back to. We don't want it so that, it's so full that it detracts from, okay, what I wanted to do is make this a nice, rich flower right here. Nice, rich red flower. But also have a highlight or two, so we'll just dab it in the water. Pull out a little color there on the top. And then in the middle, we're just going to have some black and some yellow ochre for the center. And there are a million other things I could do here. But like I said, for the sake of the length of the videos, and I think it's kind of cute the way it is. An idea is I was going to have him holding a basket, but I don't want to get going like that into this. It's too, it would be a lot more to do, and I don't want to do that because I want to keep this one. The other one got a little long, so we want to keep this one a little bit shorter. I'm adding some red, some kind of red in here, sort of smoothing it in a little bit. I think that would kind of add to the little bunny here. Just for some other color sort of mingled in with his fur a little. He just looks kind of drab. Of course, it's all in the beholder of the person looking at the whole thing, but I wanted to just make a very simple little bunny anyway, so no big deal going on here anyways. And there we go for that. You always can go back over and back over and back over and back over, and at some point you just have to say done. So I am actually going to say done, except for one other thing, which I love to do since I got them, which are these kind of gold metallic sparkly paints. So what I do is I take my little bit larger brush here, get it wet, put it into the paint, the goldish colored paint here, a couple of them. And what I want to do is just anywhere I think they'd kind of look cute, I add a gold one of these nice pretty gold foliage for foliage. I'm gonna wet it again. And I add it different places. It's kind of like sporadic, you know. And I put it in little places where you wouldn't expect it to be, you know, like I'm kind of putting it around in his fur here because it's going to give him a little glitter as, you know, you put it as this is in the light. And I dab it. I just dab it all around in different places. I'm going to swirl it around here in this grass. Give it that kind of a thing. Gotta get this a little wet again. I think what I'll do is put a nice large one right there. A couple of nice, oh, I guess we need to put a little water on the brush there. Either that or I've got too much water on the brush. Either way. It don't have to be real pronounced. It's really just about well, I think the word would be nuance. And just dabbing them here and there. And when it's all done, like I said, you'll just see this pretty sparkle to your work. And it just adds so much to the painting. Sometimes what I'll do, and I'm not going to with this one because it's really busy, but sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a paint, I'll take my brush, get whatever color it is, pretend it's yellow, wet my brush a lot, swirl it around in that yellow paint so it's like a soup. Make sure your brush is not dripping all over the place, but really quite wet. Roll it around in it. Then come over, put your finger like this, hold your hand over your painting, put your brush on your finger and hit your hand like this, and you'll get these cute little splashes and dots of whatever color it is. If this was not as lively as it was, I would do that. And as a matter of fact, I think I will do that, but in a very light way, not overkill, just a light. Okay, so I've got it quite damp, and I'm just going to do that, so you're going to see only a few little dots and splashes. Your brush does need to be quite wet. And there we go. You barely can see them, but once they dry and when you're in the light, you will see the little splashes of gold. And maybe if I turn the card a certain way in the light there, it's hard for me to tell, but maybe you can see it. So that's our little, I think I'm going to do a few little Easter, excuse my hand, a few little Easter paintings, bunny paintings or Easter paintings. Give you ideas for different things. You can take eggs and you can paint these things on eggs. That's always fun. So for now, folks, this is our Easter painting. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you like it. I hope you try it. And I hope you come back for more videos. I have revised an old channel that I had, and I'm starting new again. So there aren't very many videos on there, but I'll get them on in time. Everything is in time. And if you can, come to the channel when you're at it, like and subscribe so I know you've been there. Put a comment if you like, add questions if you like, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.